You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, it's Charge and present Zoom the TBT, and we have one of our favorite teams on. We are Bleed Green coming on the show to talk. We have head coach Andre Shaw and power forward Brett Reed. Coach Shaw, how you guys doing today?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Glad to be here. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Just working and really getting excited for the TBT. It's a month away. We're getting really hype about it. Brett Reed, are you ready to play again this season?
Oh yeah, definitely. Been excited all year.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, Coach Shaw, can you sort of let our listeners know exactly how this team came together in the last few years to become a TBT staple?
Man, we had a couple of alumni, JJ Murray and DJ Draper, who played for us here at North Texas. They just kind of had this idea about putting this team together and putting our name in the hat and to see what happened. And I tell this story to our guys. Originally, I was supposed to be the assistant coach of the TBT. And the guy that they were going to have as the head coach, he tore his Achilles and wasn't able to do it. He was also looking for a summer league job. So that's how it worked out for me to become the head coach. But JJ and DJ, our general managers, they did a great job of recruiting talent to come play for us. I think the North Texas, kind of pedigree is that tough, gritty, kind of style of play. And we've been successful in the college end, and we brought that to the TBT, kind of the professional side. And along with President Operations David Anderson, those collective minds are an unstoppable force, and was able to get these guys together. And here we are 3 years later.
That's really cool. Now, Brett, you actually, it looks like, didn't go to North Texas, Chaminade, St. Martin's, but you are a Texas guy. You're in Houston now, as we were talking earlier. How does it feel to play representing your state in the TBT?
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about it like that, to be honest. I mean, I definitely like to obviously represent Texas, but I mean, it's an honor for me to wear, you know, just the green and play with these North Texas guys because just their brand and style is something I really admire. And just going out there, like we go out and practice with these guys, and I'm around the program, and I think it's a great fit for me. Even though I didn't get to go there, and it's only a few weeks a year. I'm really proud to represent just that university and that program. Guys like Coach Shaw and these alumni, and everything they stand for.
It's always interesting to talk to guys who are playing, and they're basically alumni by choice. Like, you're alumni of your schools, but you also have decided you're also alumni of your school. That's something as a Memphis fan who went to a D3 school, I understand the concept. Coach Shaw, Brett's talking about sort of the gritty style, and I think it's a lot of people who watch TBT really loved your squad last year because, like, you guys weren't the biggest team, but you were one of the tougher teams, getting a lot out of a relatively small squad, playing Thomas Bell big minutes, playing a lot of just physical defense. Can you talk a little bit about how that style of play not only is effective on the court, but really wins you guys the affection of TBT diehards?
Well, again, the game can be played in many different ways. We've adopted a style, like I said, that's been effective for us, man. Guys that we get have a chip on their shoulder, and the toughest team is going to win. That's our motto. The toughest team is going to win day in and day out. Um, and it's a style that we've adopted. Again, we're going to put the toughest dudes on the floor. It starts with defense, and that always going to translate. Defense is always going to translate. So it starts with defense first, and it translates to winning. So I think we put a fun product out there on the floor, and we're looking forward to doing that again this year.
Yeah, I mean, Brett, coach is right. Like, sometimes the shots don't fall. Sometimes there's some bad turnovers. Sometimes bad luck. But defense and rebounding are day in and day out staples. If you have them, you have them every night. How does that sort of intensity translate to, like, when you guys start working out? Like, how do you guys keep each other accountable as a team that way?
Well, I mean, I think we just have all. What's really cool about our team is, you put a bunch of guys together, and I think what kind of like set our group apart last year is we had a very unselfish group and we were all on the same page. And I think defense and that kind of stuff is a lot of it is just effort and heart. And the thing is, we have guys who who make tough shots too. Like that was one of the things that was really impressive to me last year is you know obviously doing my research before I got on the team, but playing with some of these guys in person. I mean, the defense and rebounding stuff, like those are all controllables, and kind of leaving it to a lot of these high level pros on our team to make. I mean, these guys consistently made tough shots at a high clip all tournament. So the defense, the rebounding, that kind of stuff, that comes with recruiting the right guys and then being in the right spot, having high IQ, and then kind of like letting your guys who are your tough shot makers, your scorers, letting them play their game. And the Elam ending, like we have guys. That's one of the things I actually was just talking about yesterday. Is it's nice to have like a guy, say like a Jordan Stevens, or just like a guy when the Elam ending comes, that like everything's off the table. Who can go? Who can get one when you need one? And we had a few guys who could do that for us, and I think that's huge.
Yeah, it's always funny because basketball, and I know Coach Shaw knows this much better than I do as some idiot podcaster, is that basketball is 36 to 38 minutes of poetry, five guys working together every possession to work together, get one good shot as a team. But when it gets to 5 seconds on the shot clock, the teamwork goes out the window. It's a 1-4 flat, and it's like, get us a fucking bucket. So, like, how do you balance as a coach the team play and getting everybody involved versus guys, we need a bucket, clear out? Like, how do you balance those competing needs that are intrinsic to basketball as a coach? It's one of those things I always wonder about with coaching.
Man, I think that's a constant thing. We got multiple guys that could dribble, pass, and shoot. Like Brett said, we got guys that can make tough shots. I think the balance comes from the spacing that you have and just putting guys in position to do what they do. Putting guys in position to do what they do. Offense is a constant, like game to game. We kind of change what we want to do and who we want to target and things like that. But at the end of the day, we're gonna put guys out there that's gonna be the toughest. We're gonna put guys out there that could do multiple things, and just letting these guys be them.
Yeah. I mean, it's always this balance is crazy. Putting people in this position to succeed is a big part of anything, especially basketball. Now, Brett, you're back from overseas. We'll talk about that in a bit, but you're still the life of an overseas athlete. You guys are all high level players, but you're always trying to go up a league, in Europe or in overseas or in Asia. And I know you've been working out while you've been back. You've been working out with some other TBT royalty. You want to tell us who you've been working out with this week? I'm kind of curious to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was just saying, some of the guys I've been playing with this summer, just going to runs with, is some TBT, yeah, legends, royalty, Marcus Hall, Tyrese Rice, guys who are, I've been a professional for a couple of years, and these guys have been doing it. I think Marcus is 38 now, and just watching how these guys compete and take care of themselves, and they're taught, they stress like stretching, teaching me stuff about band work and like stuff like that kind of has given them more longevity in their professional careers. And you just still, no matter how far along you get, I think as a student of the game, and those guys are probably still learning and picking up things as well. So you always want to learn what you can from guys who have done that. And I'm grateful to be. I live in the Houston area, so I'm grateful to be around a lot of great players. So that's who I've been playing with out here.
Coach Shaw, I think Tyrese Rice is a free agent. You could use one more scorer. Is that a call? Do you need Brett to sort of say, "Hey, you got what you doing in July"?
We'll talk about that internal. We'll talk about that internal.
There we go. There we go. There we go. So, Coach Shaw, like obviously, very proud of being part of North Texas. Very part of the culture you guys have created. It's been an emerging team on the national stage. Also, the college is getting more and more notoriety as it moves up and gives my favorite team, Memphis, a lot of hard time now in the AAC this last year, obviously, which wasn't fun for me. Obviously, having to watch my team play a team with that kind of guts. You guys tortured us a bit this year, which is always a lot of not fun for me. But what do people need to understand outside of Texas, like what you guys bring to the table? Because people always know the UT Austins and the A&Ms of the world. What differentiates the style of play that North Texas brings to the table?
Again, I just can't harp on this enough. We're gonna do the little things that not necessarily show up on the box scores. We're gonna do that consistently. Consistently, we're gonna do that. The toughest team wins, and everybody understands that. And again, some stuff may show up on the box scores, but consistently things that don't, character, uh, being good teammates, the gritty, the grimy, like that's what we're about. That's what we're about.
Definitely,
So
definitely,
I would
definitely.
say that's a big separator.
Yeah. Now that's true. I mean, like watching you guys play it literally, not to be a smartass, but it bleeds out through the uniforms when you see it when you guys play. Uh, Brett, obviously overseas is interesting. You played in Sweden last year. You had a really good year. You're telling me you did about 17-9 for a quality team in a top league. Is there any goals for next season where you're trying to play, like try and get on the actual continent? Like where are you looking to try to hawk your wares next season as you play overseas?
Um, yeah, that kind of stuff is really not it's really not as much as in my hands as like as or like a player's hands as you'd like it to be. So
Mhm.
I'm just hoping that my team struggled this year. Uh so like it's just taken into effect like, oh, he had a good year statistically, but how did his team do? How was the league? And all that stuff plays a factor. So you just kind of, trust in an agent or whoever is placing you wherever and just kind of hope for the best. And I felt as if I did what I could this year, and hopefully, Lord willing, like I end up in a good place. And I think that's a lot of the things you don't hear about when you talk about like overseas players is kind of the unknown this time of year. Like you're really happy to be back home, and some guys are playing in Puerto Rico or other places during the summer. But for me, being back home, it's like trying to finish out the season strong. Okay, the season's over. Okay, I'm happy to be home. And then now we're like kind of mid June, and you start to really think like, okay, could I end up here? Could I end up here? And you do hear from teams, and some guys sign around this time. But for me, both years I've ended up signing. Last year I ended up signing uh in the like leaving the locker room of the TBT game against God, who was the YouTube team we played?
In the
The
lab,
guys, the guys. Oh, in the lab, in the lab,
in
in
the
the lab, in
lab.
the lab.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was like, I got done playing with that against that. I actually had a really good game that game. I had some good minutes, and one of our guys got in foul trouble, and I got done with that, and I got to the locker room, and my phone was blowing up, and my agent was like, we got them to this number that we were trying to get them to, and you know, if we want to do this, let's do it now. It's still my decision, but it's kind of like he talked to them, negotiations were done, and then the ball starts moving really fast. At least for me. So I can't speak for everyone, but yeah, right now I'm just kind of in a place where I'm trying to figure things out, but just trying to make sure I'm ready for whatever comes my way.
I want to stay with Brett for one follow-up. So that's a really interesting point. Do you think TBT helps the international players as a networking thing, getting taped in the summer, getting in front of some different eyeballs? Like, is this a net positive for people in their playing career? I see Coach Shaw nodding his head.
100%. And I actually, um, the coach actually watched uh that I ended up signing with, he watched our games and he watched that game. I think he had already agreed to the number we would want it to, but I mean, I think that certainly helps. And then I also think that if you think about it, like every team overseas gets like a certain number of Americans,
Yeah.
and these guys in the TBT are a lot of them are high level, high paid guys. So if you're a guy trying to get a job and you go out and produce against guys who are, brought over to be the one of the two guy Americans on the team, if you're out there playing well, then that proves that, you can play with those guys at that level. So I think for a smart team overseas or a smart club, they would be paying attention to that.
Yeah, I think one day they need to get this over, and I think a region needs to be in like Barcelona or something. One that'd be fun
Yeah.
to go to, and two, I mean, it'd be really good for like a job fair. Going back to Coach Shaw, the whole networking thing, but also the development thing. You're a well-regarded assistant coach at North Texas. How does being a head coach in the summer help your development at your day job, being a coach at North Texas? How does this develop you as a coach?
No, for sure, man. Again, this opportunity came kind of out of nowhere. Yeah, it really came out of nowhere. But it helped instill confidence because of the guys, your college guys are looking at who you're coaching. You're coaching former alumni, but you're coaching professionals. And it's a different game, it's a different game. So it helps instill some confidence in you for when you go back to your guys. And again, like, I know we signed the deal with Fox Sports, but you're on ESPN, like the ESPN, and sometimes you're standalone games, so with $1 million on the line. Not everybody's in those positions, so the amount of pressure and the positions that you are put in, you got to figure it out. So it definitely helps, the caliber of guys that you're playing, coaching against, the coaches that have, NBA associated with their names. And for these younger guys, that's the level that they're trying to get to, the NBA and as well as overseas. So it definitely helps.
Definitely. I mean, I do think it's really interesting that I think the TV deal switch would be interesting. I haven't even thought about this because you mentioned some interesting, Brett, is like they were watching the games on ESPN. I wonder if Fox has the international rights. I didn't even consider that because like they're going to be here. I don't know if Fox has the worldwide rights. Did they split them up or they in different that's something I actually I kind of want to know now. I'm going to have to look this up after we interview because that's something I wonder where next year's coach is going to see you balling out this year.
Right.
Okay, Brett, let's talk about the region for a little bit because this is so I interviewed recently We Are D3 and they're in the Dayton region. The Dayton region is not as strong as it's been in recent years, but you guys, because you're from Texas, sign up for the Texas region and holy hell, like, if you guys get back to Philadelphia, it's not going to be a cakewalk. I see 8 teams and I see 8 good teams. This is going to be an interesting region. You guys were the finalists last year. We'll talk about what's going to take to get you one more game to get that $1 million. You got the program for autism, which has made the final as well before. You've got the Enchantment quality team. They always come to play. Team LS of Sean Marshall, future guest of the show. They're fantastic. They play really well. They're a dangerous, deep-ranked team. They've made a final before. And then Forever Cougs has Rob Gray, who you guys met when he played for Marshall last year, who made the semifinals last year.
Okay.
This is a loaded regional. Is that kind of? I mean, is this going to be interesting for you guys? Go ahead, Brett.
I was just gonna say, what was it? What was the first team you said?
The program for autism.
Okay, yeah, I know they have a guy. Yeah, they have a guy from the Dallas area that I know or played
Yeah.
against. Jacobin Brown.
Yeah, he's
Mm.
not showing up on the website yet, but I guarantee that's where he'll probably be the team. Yeah, he's not on the website as of today.
I think I remember. They've been in the. Sorry, yeah, sorry to interrupt. They've been in the
No, you're
tournament
good.
for years though, so I know
Yeah.
you're talking. Yeah.
They're
Okay.
Autism Army. They won the Rucker tournament, which was considered kind of the redheaded stepchild of the TBT regions that year. No one really wanted to go there because no one wants to play. Professionals don't want to play on concrete generally, so it's a 1-year experiment. But they won that, and they rode that all the way to Dayton, rode all the way to the finals, which is really interesting. So yeah, Brown was an absolute bucket that run 2 years ago. So Brett, like, is this going to be? I mean, do people need to buy their tickets now? It's a bunch of quality teams. Like this is something people are going to want to show up for, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I think I just knowing these guys, since we're bringing back the same team we had last year, um, we have a bunch of high level competitors. So I think that's something that we look forward to. Playing at the highest level and playing in a region where you know we're taking everyone's best punch and we're giving our best punch. And I remember the team we played last year, Heartfire. They had a really tough road to get to the final to play us. And I think that applies to like college basketball and just other sports as well. If you the more battle tested a team is, if you can make it out of that region, uh, then then you know that just will prepare you for the finals. And not that we had an easy road last year, but I think just based on what you just told me, it's gonna be a difficult one this year. And I also know this it's at the Fertitta Center, right?
It's in Houston. I think it's at their main gym. I'll look
Yeah,
actually. Yeah, it's at Houston's home gym. So that's the Fertitta Center. Then yeah, I'll look right now.
yeah,
Actually,
that's their home gym. So that'll be awesome. I'm sure the city will come out for that. And
yeah, Fertitta Center. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be. Yeah.
we live for that kind of stuff, man. So that's gonna be great.
So Coach Shaw, he's very confident about this. Like, are you going to be chugging anti-acid or anti-stomach stuff? Like, how is this going to cause an ulcer? Are you going to lose your hair? Like, this is a very tough region. How are you guys going to? And plus, you guys are the hunted now. You're not the cute story. You were
Absolutely.
7-2 in this event. You were not a joke. You guys are winners,
Absolutely.
winners. So like, not only are you getting the best teams, you're getting everybody's best shot. Like Pepto Bismol. What's your coping mechanism of choice?
I don't have any of that, man. I put on I put on some good music. I've been a grinder. I've been a hustler all my life. Um, and I welcome competition. So don't shy away from it. Instill some confidence in these guys. Experience matters, and we gained a lot of it last season. You know, you had mentioned kind of, what do we need for that one more game? Um, I thought that we matched up well with every opponent that we've played against until we got to that last game. And, our style of play with being able to kind of go small and put guys in space and things like that, it didn't really match up well with Heartfire. So I would say just the versatility. We have the experience, we've been there. But the versatility and how we can play, I think gets us over the hump, and that's what we're looking to do this year.
Yeah, I mean, Heartfire is a not a fast team, but they're a bigger and they're kind of a
Yeah,
physical team of size, and they don't want to play fast. They want to play slow by design, and
right.
they're hard to speed up. Speeding up Marcus Hall is not exactly something people are able to really do. Brett, let's just kind of close with some fun stuff. How do you plan on spending your share of the $1 million?
I'm not sure yet. I'll try to be smart with it. I was joking with a couple of the guys last year. One of our guys, James Reese, and said we were gonna throw our phones in the dumpster and we were just gonna disappear to Turks and Caicos for like a week. And but not seriously. I'm not sure, man. It would just be a blessing to win it. Um, I remember last year we got to Philadelphia and Coach Shaw will will remember this, I'm sure, even though we haven't spoken about it. But when we were in Philadelphia and we had a shoot around, and we did we gave them our Zelle information, and we woke up and they had sent us 1 cent on Zelle to make sure. Oh,
He froze there a little bit. Oh, he's out. That's okay. Well, he leaves on getting a Zell. We're okay with that. He'll come back at some point. That's the nature of Zoom. We'll survive with that. But Coach Shaw, he did mention they you could literally taste it. He's back. We'll just let him back in real quick. That's fine. That's how this We keep a loose ship here. We're just going to make that work. But while we wait for Brait to get back in here in the room, once he gets back on camera, getting back to you with this. I know that this is a much more expensive event to run now, Coach Shaw. So I've been trying to give people a chance to give a heads up or a shout out to their sponsors. Like, is there anybody who's been really generous to Bleed Green that you would like to give a shout out to make sure that they feel some love?
Yeah. First of all, JJ Murray and DJ Draper have been awesome. David Anderson, amazing. But Ernie has Ernie in the background. CUNY, he's been big time help for us, as well as the many others that have helped. But I thank you to everybody. We hope to make you proud.
Yeah, I think for the last couple of years, you would definitely have an easy way of making people proud. Again, 7 wins in 2 years for only 2 years in TBT is unheard of success right out the box. Brett, Andre Shaw, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hainer. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.